Welcome back, everyone, to another episode on the Adventures of FoxFoil. Today we are starting out on top of the tower that we built last time to cover up the moss farm. And right now I have the moss farm running because we are going to be using moss in some of the projects that we are doing later. But before we get to that project, there is something very exciting that I've done, and that is update my world to version 1.21. And with the update to 1.21, we have access to the new tough blocks, which, just taking a look at them, they look amazing, and I can't wait to start using them in some new projects. We also have the new copper blocks, which again, I think are some great additions here. We've got these doors and the trap doors, as well as these ones over here, which, definitely things that we could use these for too. But not only do we have access to all of the new blocks, we also have access to the trial chambers, and they sound like a lot of fun and a place that could get some good loot. So the plan for today will be to go out and find a trial chamber, and then after that, I have a project which I'm very excited about and will be a lot of fun to work on. Before we set out to search for the trial chamber, let's check how we're doing on rockets. We could probably use with a few more. So let's head over and grab some sugarcane and some gunpowder, and then we can craft up a bunch of rockets. I think that should be just about enough. There are two ways that we could try to find a trial chamber. One way would be to go out and search a bunch of caves, which would take a long time. Or we could find a villager who would sell us a map that would lead us to the trial chambers. And that sounds like a much better idea. And if we're going to buy a map from a villager, we are going to need some emeralds, which I don't have very much of here. Let's go check what I have in my villager trading area. And this villager trading hall is still one of my favorite projects in this world. But we are here to get the emeralds, not look at the build. I think we are now ready to set out and find a cartographer who will sell us a map to a trial chamber, which should be fairly easy, especially if we take a cartography table with us. We will just have to fly out and find a village that's in a chunk that hasn't spawned yet. And this looks like a promising candidate. So let's just see if one of these villagers will be cooperative and give us the trade that we want. Well, this is not a good start. We've got an ocean explorer map, but we are not looking for an ocean monument. So one of the trades that we are going to need to make with this guy is to have a bunch of glass panes, and I can get a bunch of glass from my librarian. So this will work out pretty well. That should be enough glass to get us started. All right, so let's see if this will do it. We're in luck. We've got the trial explorer map right here. This is perfect. We don't even have to go that far to find the trial chamber. Based on this map, I think we need to head off in this direction, and we should be able to find it. Oh no. It looks like it's in the middle of the ocean. So if we're going to dig down into the ocean, we're going to need a shovel because there's a lot of gravel down there. And we are going to need to grab our chest plate so that we will be all ready once we reach the trial chamber. This looks like the spot. Let's get going. I seem to have found the trial chamber. I think I need to get my gear ready so that way I can take on whatever challenges lie on the other side. We survived the first ominous trial, and take a look at what we've got. The ominous trial key, which we can now use on this right here and hopefully get some good stuff. Let's see. Got a golden apple, got some wind charges. not too bad. But I think what we need to do is keep going around and trying to get some better stuff, because what we need is the items that we are going to use to craft the mace up. So I think we've gone through and opened up all of the ominous vaults, which has helped us get a lot of good stuff. And you can see in the shulker box, the best stuff that we were able to collect. So we've got the smithing templates and the shirts, which are exclusive to the trial chambers. We also have some extra trial keys, which will be useful to carry on. We've got some diamonds, some good enchanted books, and then we've got the breeze rods and wind charges, which are going to be useful for later. The one item that we weren't able to collect was the heavy core, and we need the heavy core to be able to craft up the mace. So I think what I'm going to do is try to find some additional trial chambers just to be able to collect that up, which is easier said than done, because I had to find another villager to trade with to be able to get a new map. And then once I had the map, I had to go find the trial chamber. And the trial chamber went pretty much how the first one went. I had to fight some mobs, go through and do some ominous trials, and eventually, at the very end, with the last ominous vault, I got the heavy core. And right here we have the heavy core, which I'm super excited to have, because now we can craft up the mace. But I think that is enough with the trial chambers. Let's head back to our base, because we still have another project to be able to work on for today. And we are back in our storage room, and I finished putting away everything that we've collected from the trial chamber. And I also thought it would be fun to display some of the things that we were able to collect from the trial chamber on this wall over here. So we've got an ominous potion, we've got some of the keys here, we've got one of the maps that we used to find the trial chambers, and I'm going to put the mace here for now as well. One of the things that we still didn't get from the trial chamber was the wind burst enchantment, and that is one that is going to make the mace a lot of fun to use. And once I'm able to get that enchantment, I think I'll be using the mace a lot more. But now it's time to start on the main project for today, and we are going to be taking a break from the building that we've been doing here in the city over the last couple of episodes, and we are going to be heading out to a desert to transform a desert village. We are not going to be working on just any desert village. There is a specific village that I have in mind. A few episodes ago, and by a few I mean like 20, we built this desert pyramid, and we haven't done much to this area other than building the nether portal and the pathway leading up to the pyramid. But a little ways away from this pyramid, we have a desert village. And this village is rather plain and boring, at least for now, because today we are going to transform this desert village into a lush desert oasis and maybe make some improvements on the building. Excuse me, I'm trying to sleep here. But the thing about making deserty looking buildings is that we are going to need to use blocks that I don't normally use a lot. In fact, the last time I used a lot of these blocks was when I built this pyramid. And in this pyramid, I have a storage room with a lot of the ones I had left over. So let's see what we have here. And that will tell us how much we are going to need to go out and collect. Not much in there. Ooh, this is good. We've got a whole double chest worth of sandstone, which we are going to be using a lot of. Let's see. We've got some smooth sandstone here. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more, but we can just smelt up the sandstone to get that. This is really good news. All right, let's take these blocks back, but that's not going to be all that we're going to need to collect. We are also going to need some red sandstone, which we can craft up by using this red sand. And then we need to stick all of this sandstone into our super smelter and wait for it to get smelted up, which it now is. But in order for this village to be a lush oasis, we are going to need some different types of blocks, like moss from the moss farm, or drip leaves from a lush cave. And this lush cave is massive and filled with a few too many mods. We are also going to need a lot of sea pickles, and we should stop by the cactus farm to get a few cacti to take with us. And I almost forgot that we are going to need some sugar cane as well. I finished getting everything together, and there are quite a few different types of blocks that we are going to be using. But we are now ready. The first step in this village transformation is to get all of the mobs and the villagers in a safe place while we work so that they don't get lost along the way. So I guess this is what I'm going to be doing for the next few minutes. We've got the villagers in a safe place, and the animals are now all safe and secure as well, which just leaves us with the second step of deconstructing the village and rebuilding it. So let's get going. village has been fully transformed, and let's take a quick walkthrough to see some of the details of different things that I've added in. Over in these pools, we have a couple of axolotls that I was able to pick up from the lush caves, and we've got some in both of them. We also have the villagers getting settled into their new homes. The iron golem has decided to leave, apparently. But over here, we've got these rooms. They've got beds, we've got some barrels, we've got a workbench over here, another bed. As we come into the center of the village, you can see there's a lot of different houses here. We've got this well that seems to be a favorite for the camel, and there's a new wheat field over here. We've got an enclosure for the sheep and the cows, and there's a large tower in the back to be able to take a look at the entire surrounding area. You may notice for some of these buildings that there are different colors of terracotta, and I tried to use the green terracotta to indicate where there were farms like wheat, or where the animals were over here. And then if there was water, I tried to use the blue terracotta, even though it looks like purple terracotta, to indicate that there is water in that location. For the area where the water is, I tried to make it like a marshy area. So we've got the sugarcane for the different types of reeds. We've got the azalea leaves to sort of make it look like algae. And I wanted to add in drip leaves around as well. But the problem is that in this spot, there is not a lot of ground right underneath, and the water is too deep, so I wasn't able to add the drip leaves in there. This village transformation has been a lot of fun to work on, and I think it's turned out really well. But I think that is where we are going to leave it for today's video. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until next time, see you later.